Good morning, Oslo. I can say that loud today because obviously there was a lot of European World Cup qualifiers. Sahil Rahi, we're covering all of the World Cup qualifiers out there. Last day of European qualifiers for this window. Rahi, we are so close to seeing which teams are getting to the World Cup. And let us start off with a team we have been following a lot, Norway, and what a hammering, a double-digit victory. I don't care if it's Moldova. I don't care if it's the local pub team. Beating someone by 10 goals is absolutely insanity.
Insanity. When do you stop celebrating as a fan? Norwegian fans, when did you stop celebrating goals? Do you celebrate all 11? Because that is tiring, man. You keep having to stand up 11 times during the game. Insane. Erling Haaland, 5 goals? My goodness. Odegaard on the score sheet. What an incredible game. And there's someone we have to talk about, my friend. There's somebody we haven't talked about yet.
Yes, straight out of a Marvel movie. His name seems something that's straight out of a Marvel movie, out of the Thor series. Wouldn't you say? Like the name?
Yeah,
who's the guy we're talking about, Rahi? Tell everyone, like this guy.
It's the Rangers man himself, 23 years old, comes off the bench, gets 4 goals, man. 4 goals. Add that to the 5 that Haaland scored. Odegaard on the score sheet. Who am I missing? Who scored the 11th? I don't even remember.
Yeah, at this point in time, we don't even remember who scored that 11th one. But, you know, with a name like Haaland and Aasgaard, right? You just have to say at some point he's going to have some kind of Nordic, deity
Aasgaard,
performance.
I think is the name. I think the Thor references, isn't that where Thor is from? Asgard, isn't it like
I believe that's
from?
Yeah. Norwegian fans, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe there's a nuance in terms of it, but it sounds like Asgard. Maybe that's spelled differently, but regardless, this guy comes on as a substitute, and scores 4 goals. That's absolutely insane. So, okay, why does this all matter? And that's let me show that for a second, because this is kind of what is going on in this group. We didn't show it yesterday when we did the video because we wanted to wait till this Norwegian game was done. And this is why. 21. The goal difference says 21, Rahi. This is what things look like. And so basically, at this point in time, if Norway takes care of business at home against Israel and Estonia, it's done. Italy has no chance.
It's already done, in my opinion. It's already done. We saw Italy yesterday struggle to a 5-4 insane sort of up and down roller coaster ride victory. I don't see this Norwegian team slipping up against Israel or Estonia. This is going to be a cakewalk. And once they take care of business in those 2 games, it doesn't matter what happens in Italy. It doesn't mean anything what happens in that game because they will have amassed such a goal difference cushion that it's over. It's over. Start booking your tickets, my friends, my Norwegian friends. You're nearly there. We're about to see this team in the World Cup. It's almost a done deal.
We'll welcome you to the U.S. And I just want to say, we have been covering, we have a little bit of a soft spot for this team because we called it way back when, before this whole run started. And we said, watch out for this Norwegian team because we saw the development of a player like Nusa, of a player like, Odegaard and Haaland, who hadn't really come into their zone for the national team. And now with all the pieces coming together, you can see what can happen on a day like this. It's some crazy stuff you'll get.
Yeah, and this World Cup qualifying campaign has been when it's all come together, right? There's been some terrible losses, right? There's been some poor performances leading up to this.
Yeah.
But now in this qualification, they've been excellent. Starting with that victory over Italy, it's been excellent. It's all come together at the right time.
It started a little bit prior in the Nations League campaign before, where you saw elements of that, right? You saw the elements, and that started the fire, and then now it's happened this way.
What was the loss to Austria? Was it?
Yes. That
was a terrible loss.
That was a terrible loss. Yes, but after that, it's all turned up here, and yes, we can say this, Norwegian fans, you are almost there. You are almost there, barring anything ridiculous that happens at home against Estonia and Israel. That is that. So anything more to say before we wrap up on Norway here?
No, what a day for Aasgaard. I mean, what a day to come on and to score 4 goals. What a moment for the kid. What a moment for all these players. It must feel so good. if you're Haaland getting on the score sheet, it's a great day to be with Norwegian. They're clearly enjoying themselves out there. They're having a good time. It's fun. They're a fun team to watch. They've scored multiple goals in multiple games. I mean, they have. I'm certain they have the best goal difference of any team in Europe at this point because it's obviously this game, but also they've been fun. They've been fun to watch, and it shows that they're enjoying themselves on the field.
Yeah, and that's what happens when enjoying yourself. This is why in the video that we had recently, I said, Norway is a team to watch. They saw what their neighbors Denmark did a day before and say, okay, you guys are going to hit 3 past Greece. We'll do you one better. We'll win by double digits. So it's an interesting group. We won't talk about Sweden. That's something that's that's the region in the region that needs a little bit of help. But okay, so this is what things look like, of course, in this group. So let's move on to the next group. This, Rahi, this thing became a lot dicier than it could have been. Firstly, we are not, this group is already insane because Ukraine couldn't get the victory against Azerbaijan, but France had to hold off Iceland thanks to a red card.
Yeah, this is the French issue. It seems like at sometimes they play well for moments and then they lose their head. Lack of discipline at times. Tchouaméni getting sent off, and then they really had to survive, and there was a disallowed goal late. You thought Iceland had tied it?
Yes.
But in the end, maybe the right call. You said you saw a little foul on Konate there, so maybe it's the right call, but I'm not sure.
Little bit of a jersey pull. At first, I thought, okay, this is a little bit of, home kind of advantage with that call. But then I saw, and there was a little tug on the jersey, so I suppose it was the right call. Iceland fans are probably not going to be happy about that, but it would have been very dicey. Now things are not so dicey, and it looks like France is going to get through to the World Cup. Yeah. Now let's look at the next group. Going back to that group, this is where, of course, things stand. I mean, there's still a tough away match, Rahi and Iceland, but
I mean, as I said before, I know this was a great Icelandic performance, but in the end, this is a cakewalk group for France. They'll walk in now.
Yeah. So moving forward to this particular group, there was supposed to be a big match in Serbia today, Rahi, but that turned out to be not so much of a big match, and looks like England will be, of course, joining us here in the US.
Yeah, we've seen this time and time again from Serbia, a team that has some talent, but they never quite seem to be disciplined enough to be cohesive enough. Sometimes you have internal strife. They just look no match for England, and this is an England side that really hasn't fired all cylinders under Thomas Tuchel. They've been struggling. They've looked a little drab at times, and they really got going today, and they can thank Serbia for that. So Thomas Tuchel should send a thank you note to the Serbian team over there, because there were some concerns. There was some concerns in the England camp, and I think this eases a lot of their worries.
Yeah, this was a team that was, beating Andorra by a goal or 2 goals and stuff like that. And, they're saying very drab performances. And then, nothing like rolling into Belgrade, which is, traditionally a hard place to play, and then hammering Serbia. It's strange. I just want to note on Serbia, we've seen this so many times, right? Where they come off good performances, matches that are hard fought victories like the last one, and everything is there for the taking for the Serbian team. And then they just come out with a performance like this, and you're just like, what is this? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was strange. It was strange. They rolled out the red carpet for their guests.
Yeah. And so England fans, they're almost officially qualified at this point in time. So we will see very shortly in the US. And we'll see. I'm sure the chance of it's coming home will start again, which I'm sure everyone's looking forward to. I take a lot of sarcasm with that comment. But all right. So that's here's how it stands with the English fans and the English group. So speaking of, how teams did in sort of the region, right? The general region of Serbia, Albania. There was Bosnia in action, and wow, because my friend, Austria got the victory in Bosnia.
We saw Bosnia, right? 4 out of 4. They'd start off well. They were sitting top of the group, but they hadn't been tested. They hadn't been tested in a big way. This was a big test, and they failed it. They failed it, and Austria now really puts themselves in pole position to qualify out of this group. And you'd have to say they were the favorites going in. Austria, they at times have looked very good, right? The new sort of high press, the way that they currently play. Sabitzer, of course, a key player for them. In the end, this was an opportunity lost for Bosnia. They lost to an Austrian team that is more talented in many ways, but Bosnia had started so well. But you have to say the group is all Austria now.
Yeah. And that's the thing, you have a slip up like this at home and all this good work. We talked about in the last video. I talked about, Bosnia, a lot of talented midfielders, a lot of talented players. They have a youngster who's extremely talented, who played decent in this match. But it's just you cannot drop points like this at home. And then, now it's all going to come down to this at the end of the campaign. And I think they might regret it. So finishing it off. So that, of course, is the group. Now, the last group that was in action was, of course, the Portugal-Ireland group. And Ireland fans, we're going to get to Portugal in a second, but my goodness, Ireland fans, I don't know what to say. Every time they look like there's a little bit of promise and a little bit of momentum after that last-minute goal in Dublin, they come out with a performance like this. Yeah, so I don't know if you want to say anything more about Ireland.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't think you come in with big expectations if you're Ireland, but that's a disappointing result. I'm actually more disappointed if I'm Hungary, because that's 2 games now where you've taken the lead and blown the lead. And this is a good Hungary team, right? A Hungary team that has big players at big clubs, right? Yeah. And this is unfortunate, right? This is a big opportunity missed, and they don't sit in a good place now, right? 1 point, they're not in a good position. Portugal has opened up some distance at the top of the group. They will be fine to qualify, but there's still opportunity to qualify via the second route. And Hungary has to be really, really worried.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? So look, we don't talk about it a lot, right? Because Portugal, so many people talk about Portugal, so many people talk about Ronaldo. But I think we have to talk about it in the context of this particular match. It was a penalty. But regardless, Cristiano Ronaldo at the age of 40 has now tied the record for the most World Cup qualifier goals, and he'll probably break it by the end of this campaign. It's just an unbelievable feat, and I think it's time to start talking about this Portuguese team in one of the potential favorites in the World Cup.
Yeah, I think one thing with Ronaldo we have to discuss is how important he has been for Portugal over such a long time, and what he's meant to this team and the success that he's brought to Portugal. I think that is sort of underestimated. Messi gets a lot of credit for what he's done for Argentina winning the World Cup, but what Ronaldo has done for Portugal is remarkable. Winning a Euro when they should have had no chance winning that European Championship, winning a Nations League. This guy has done so much for this team, and I think it gets sort of swept under the rug a little bit. He's been massive for Portugal. He's won big titles for Portugal, and Portugal is a small nation, right? Yeah. Not a nation the size of Argentina. So really bringing a lot of success to Portugal. Let's give him credit.
Yeah, I think it deserves a lot of credit for everything he's done. So the day today, of course, belongs to multiple teams, but in particular, I think we can say for Norwegian fans out there will be very happy. Of course, the other teams, England, Portugal, France, all happy, but they're all expected to be in the tournament. But Norway fans, you're inching closer. Rahi made the call. He said that you guys are going to get through. I'm still holding off a little bit, but we shall see you all next time. Next round of qualifiers from Europe, still a month away, guys, but exciting stuff as this wraps up. If you're enjoying these videos, please subscribe to the channel. We'll cover a lot of international football topics in between, and then see you all very soon. Keep watching the beautiful game.